Hello fight fans, thanks for joining us at MMA Insider. Before we get rolling with today's news, show some love by hitting that like button and subscribing. Now let's uncover the latest happenings in MMA. Starting off, video shows Conor McGregor spit in man's face after Khabib chant. Moving on, Chael Sonnen is convinced that Islam Makhachev is eager to leave lightweight division. Lastly, Dana White's view on Shara Magomedov's defeat at UFC Saudi Arabia. A video has surfaced of UFC star Conor McGregor spitting in a man's face in a Las Vegas casino. The source of the original video is unclear, as is the timeline, though McGregor is seen outside Café Al Teatro in Wynn, Las Vegas, and Encore heavily surrounded by security and handlers. After someone is heard shouting, "Let's go, Khabib," McGregor walks toward a group of patrons, gets inches away from one of them, and spits in his face twice. McGregor then proudly declares, "I spit in your face. What did you do? Nothing." McGregor, 36, continues his streak of attracting attention for outside the cage antics in recent years. Having not competed since July 2021 when he suffered a leg injury, McGregor was booked for a June showdown with Michael Chandler but withdrew due to a broken toe. Since then, McGregor was found liable for sexual assault in a civil lawsuit in Ireland, with similar accusations being filed recently in a civil lawsuit in Florida. McGregor has continued to appear frequently at events for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, a promotion which he now co-owns. MMA analyst Chael Sonnen has explained why he believes Islam Makhachev is eager to leave the lightweight division. Islam Makhachev is the pound-for-pound best fighter in the Ultimate Fighting Championship right now. He's also the UFC lightweight champion. Oh, and he's also heavily teased the idea of moving up in search of a second world title. So, in summary, he's pretty busy these days. Alas, instead of shifting up to welterweight, Makhachev has instead toyed with the idea of going up 2 weight classes to 185 pounds. Given that this would serve as a jump of 30 pounds, it makes sense that some have questioned whether or not it's a good idea. Chael Sonnen, in a recent interview, spoke candidly about what he thinks the problem could be for Makhachev, and it's really quite simple. The biggest problem Islam has is a thing that beat his coach twice and that ultimately retired. Khabib did not retire because he didn't want to fight Conor McGregor a second time. The UFC showed him the wrong numbers. Every time they had a meeting, they showed more commas and more zeros. That was the wrong number. If they would have made the weight class 170, they would have got Khabib for one more fight. They're going to run into that same problem with Islam eventually. UFC President Dana White has given his thoughts on Shara Magomedov's surprising defeat to Michael Page at UFC Saudi Arabia. Last weekend, Shara Magomedov fell short in his co-main event collision with Michael "Venom" Page. He was neutralized by Page throughout the course of their fight, and in the end, he wound up losing on the scorecards. Of course, due to the unconventional style of Page, a lot of fans and pundits weren't surprised to see him struggle to break his opponent down. Of course, this raises questions about the immediate future of Magomedov. He still feels like someone who can be a legitimate contender in the middleweight division, but in equal measure, he needs to go back to the drawing board and figure out what he can do to improve. During the post-fight press conference, Dana White gave his thoughts on how it all played out. "You have to be aggressive with Page, but it's a weird situation to be in because he's a counter striker and he sort of sits back and waits for you. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I think styles make fights. An MVP is a very tough style to fight. He lays back and counterpunches. If you go in guns a-blazing, he's a real good counterpuncher. Page is just a hard style to fight. I don't think this diminishes Magomedov in any way, and I don't think it had anything to do with him freezing. Let's not forget, the guy has one eye. That doesn't help." Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Your dedication and support fuel our passion to bring you the latest and greatest in the MMA world. If you enjoyed today's news, please give us a thumbs up and share it with fellow MMA fans. Remember to subscribe to stay in the loop with daily MMA updates. We've got a lot of exciting news, interviews, and analysis coming your way every single day. Your engagement helps us grow and serve the MMA community even better. Once again, thank you for being an integral part of our daily MMA journey.